guys, so I am outside of one of my go-to grocery stores with all 5 kids in the car, and we're gonna go in and I'm gonna show you exactly what my favorite things to get at Whole Foods. So Whole Foods is not my #1 stop that I make, but it is one that I go to regularly, and there's probably about 20 things that I love to get from Whole Foods, and I always get Costco is my #1. I probably get about 60 or 70% of my grocery things from Costco, but Whole Foods is actually on up there, probably at #2 or 3 as far as things that I can't get from Costco, I'll get from Whole Foods, and I'm going to show you my favorite purchases to. Go grab me a bag of onions, please. Not on Marie.
Hey, Mommy, I'll get some kiwi. There's boxes over there. What are they?
The egg roll wrappers.
Okay, girl.
Nope. Nope. Those are wontons. Okay, perfect. Bulk.
This one?
Straight ahead. Nope, next one. Nope, next one. Other way. Bottom of the cart. It's okay. We're gonna learn. Just put it in the bottom of the cart. Jojo, put it back. Jojo got bread flour. Daddy's favorite cookies. Just 1 bag. No, not the honey grams. Yeah, Daddy likes the animal cookies.
I love these.
No, he doesn't. Nope.
Please.
Nope. Are you doing a dance? We're not going to get it to snack on, but we'll get our yogurt starter.
Good yogurt that's plain.
You had yogurt for breakfast. Let's get our starter. Get this one right here that's on sale. Get that blue one right there. We'll use it for our yogurt starter. Jack and Jed, get me a gallon of milk.
Jack and Jed.
Molly, just Jack and Jed, or just Jed. Alright, so we survived Whole Foods with 5 kids. It was actually pretty good. My toddler is getting a lot better about shopping and not pitching a fit. So pretty much I had all 4 kids walking around the store with me and helping me to shop. My older ones are getting better so they can actually help push the cart. And everything that I got was just $70. So I will show you all that I got in just a minute when I unload and unpack everything at home. So I am back home from Whole Foods. My kids carried in all of the groceries. I've spread it out and unloaded it onto my island so I can show you exactly what I got. And I'm actually going to show you a little bit more. I've got some things pulled out from my cabinets, some things that I didn't need to get today but are still favorites that I always buy at Whole Foods. So the first couple of things that I'm going to show you are actually things I don't usually get at Whole Foods, but I just got 2 gallons of milk. We go through a lot of milk in my house. I use it for, we drink a lot, first of all, and then I use it for yogurt. I actually need to make some yogurt, and I make ricotta cheese, and I cook with it, so we go through a lot of milk. Usually I get milk at COSTCO or ALDI, but milk is one of the things where I'm not going to make a special trip. I don't think the price varies enough to warrant a special trip. So I got 2 gallons from Whole Foods today. Now another thing that I got today is non-GMO canola oil. Now I don't go through this too quickly, but I use it for frying things. So like when I make French fries, or you know, on the rare occasion that I make donuts, or when we make fried chicken, things like that. This is the oil that I use. This is also the oil that I use for homemade mayonnaise. So I like that it's non-GMO. It's a really good price, and I just like to always have this on hand. Now I also got some beef broth. Beef broth is one of the things that, again, I like to have on hand. I make all of my chicken broth. I don't generally make beef broth, and I don't go through it as quickly, so I just like to have a carton on hand just in case I need it for French onion soup or a roast or something like that. So this is also the 365 brand. So that's Whole Foods store brand. I get a lot of their store brand things, and I think that they're really delicious. This is organic, and it was less than, I think it was about $2.50 for a carton of beef broth. I also got, these are also a couple of things. So I don't get flour from Costco, of course, because it's the big giant bags. And so I get flour from Whole Foods. This is their 365 brand. Again, it's all purpose, it's unbleached. It's really just good regular flour. It's a really good price, and it's, like I said, it's unbleached, which is nice. So that's something that I always like to have on hand. And then I also keep bread flour on hand. So if you're not familiar with bread flour, it has a higher gluten content, and it is great for 1 hour French bread, for homemade bagels, and for quick breads like that. And this is the King Arthur flour, and it's a good price at Whole Foods. So that's another thing that I get from there. Let me just see here. Speaking of flour and baking, I also get their 365 brand baking powder. This is aluminum free, so it's good to have on hand, and again, a good price. So while we're talking about baking, I also like to go to Whole Foods for specialty items, specialty baking items like unsweetened coconut or dark chocolate morsels. I get the 365 brand in those, and it's just it's inexpensive, and it's a good place to get those kinds of things that I can't usually find at Costco or ALDI. Another thing that I got today are these egg roll wrappers, and you can find these at Harris Teeter or other grocery stores, but it's not something I can find at Costco or ALDI, and I like to have these for when we make egg rolls. And then they also sell these wonton wrappers, and these are great for wontons, but they're also really good if you want to make homemade ravioli. I got some Greek yogurt. Now this is going to be my yogurt starter for making homemade yogurt later today. I got my husband one of his favorite things. Whenever I go to Whole Foods, he always asks for it. It's this natural draft root beer. My husband loves it, so I'll pick these up. It's kind of like a special treat. I don't get it every time, but it is one of the only places that we can find that particular brand of root beer, and so he really likes those. I got some steel cut oats, and again, if you haven't been to Whole Foods, they have a really great bulk section where you can find some specialty wheat berries and oats and lots of different things, flours and whatnot. I typically buy oats in bulk during the winter. I ordered them from Amazon, but I needed just a little bit for recipe testing, so I got them from the bulk section. So Whole Foods does have a really great bulk section for things like that. I picked up some spices that I needed. Again, this isn't something that I always get, but they do have some good fresh spices. This is just some ground chipotle chili. I got some bananas, 2 bunches of bananas. Bananas I will get wherever I am, pretty much anytime I go to the store. Like milk, I get some bananas because we go through a lot of bananas. Now, the next thing that I'm going to mention is something that I do always get from Whole Foods. I don't buy them from Costco. Sometimes I get them from ALDI, but Whole Foods just has a good price, and they are organic, and that's yellow onions. So it's like $3.50 for a bag of organic onions. And I didn't buy any today because I didn't need any. However, organic bagged potatoes are also a really good price at Whole Foods. Potatoes are on the Dirty Dozen list, which if you're not familiar with that, it's just a list of the produce that has maybe more pesticides or more chemicals, chemical exposure and things like that. So if you're not going to buy everything organic, but you want to try to limit your exposure to things like that, then you can look at the Dirty Dozen list. And that's why I usually get organic baking potatoes and red potatoes, and Whole Foods is my go-to place for those because it is a good price. Now I also got some crunchy pretzel sticks. Now this is something that we don't necessarily have a bag of pretzels every week, but I do like to have them on hand because they're great for picnics, for snack bags. They're great for dipping in hummus and peanut butter and ranch, you name it, just whatever. So little less than $2 for a bag of pretzels, and we really like those. These are another of my husband's favorites. So this is something, again, that I don't buy all of the time,
but this is the Whole Foods brand animal cookies, and they are delicious. They are so good. So another thing that I always get from Whole Foods is their frozen corn and frozen peas. They're both really good prices on both of them. And then the great thing about corn is that it's non-GMO. Everything that Whole Foods sells is non-GMO. And so I have a hard time finding frozen corn that's not non-GMO, that's also not really expensive. So I always go to Whole Foods for that. And again, it's the 365 brand. I also got some apples. Our favorite apples are organic Gala apples. They're just my husband's favorites, and so it's just what I always get. But the great thing about buying the apples at Whole Foods instead of Costco, because Costco usually has organic Gala apples as well, but the ones at Costco are a lot bigger. So for my kids, if they're going to take an apple, I like having just the smaller bag of apples. So this, like the bananas, I pretty much will, anytime I'm at Aldi or anytime I'm at Whole Foods, I'll get a bag. They're a little bit cheaper at Aldi, but not that much cheaper that I feel bad about getting them from Whole Foods. So Whole Foods is a great place. They almost always have these apples, and again, I really like the size. So that's everything that I got today. But I wanted to show you a few other things that I have in my pantry that I really love from Whole Foods as well. Okay, so there's just a handful of other things that I wanted to highlight if you're not familiar with Whole Foods that I feel like are really great prices and deals. Now the first thing that I'm going to say is I love getting their boxed pasta. This is orzo pasta, and it's $1.99 for a pound of orzo pasta, which is actually a really good price from what I've seen. So we would like to have this on hand for a lot of different things. I also like their 365 panko breadcrumbs. I always have panko breadcrumbs on hand. And so this is a good, again, just the Whole Foods brand panko breadcrumbs. Back to pasta. This is a bag, and it's half used because, like I said, I pulled it out of my pantry. But the elbow macaroni, this is $1.09 for a pound of elbow macaroni. And again, everything that you get from Whole Foods is non-GMO, which is just really nice. So the other pasta that I don't have right here to show you is just their long, thin spaghetti. We always get that. It's less than $2 for a pound of spaghetti noodles. So another really great price. Like I've mentioned, Costco and Aldi are my other two favorite grocery stores, but there's things that I can't get from those stores. And one of those are more specialty oils. So things like pure sesame seed oil, and this is another sesame seed oil, but special oils and vinegars. Whole Foods is my go-to place. When possible, I get the store brand. And then the last things that I want to show you is their decaf coffee. This is already ground, but you can get it whole bean if you like. I drink decaf. My husband drinks regular, and we get his coffee from Costco, but I get this organic decaf from Whole Foods, and it's really, really good. So that's just one thing that I always get from Whole Foods. And two more final things. Their store brand ketchup and Dijon mustards, things like that are a good price. So I will pick those up when we need them. And then the last thing are these organic suckers. So we don't go through a whole lot of candy at my house, but I really like having these on hand. Unlike other candies and suckers, they're made without food dyes. They're made with good ingredients, and I really like having this on hand. All right, so that's it. Let me know in the comments below, do you shop at Whole Foods? What are your favorite things to buy there? And maybe you can share something that I don't already get that I would love to find out. So let me know in the comments below if you are a Whole Foods shopper or where you like to shop the most. If you have found this video helpful or enjoyable, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click subscribe. I would love to have you join me here. You can also find a list of all of these things that are my favorite things to get from Whole Foods on my blog at thispilgrimlife.com. And you can also find in that same post where I share my favorite Whole Foods items, you can find a price list as well. So go to, click the link down below and check it out.